Hey guys, it's me, FlawlessLee, and welcome back to my channel and another episode of Single Black Gay Male in America. And today is somewhat of a traditional episode, but not really, because it is kind of catered to a person, but I figured this message can help everybody. And this is getting through a breakup. I know I've talked about sabotaging relationships and different breakups and things that happen with that. But how do you actually get through the breakup at the end? And of course, everybody knows there are the 7 stages of grief, which not only apply to a death in the family, losing a friend, but they are definitely applied to losing someone that you've been in a relationship with, whether it be for, a month to 10, 12, 30 years. There's some marriages that broke up after 30 years and nobody knows why. So this one is for you guys out there. And basically what I'm trying to put out there is that music is what I use to kind of get through breakups. I feel like music is, it's healing. It's kind of universal, despite, the languages. The feelings are still there and the feelings are still the same. And what I wanted to share today were just some songs from my breakup playlist. Yes, I do have a breakup playlist, and they are broken. The songs are broken apart by the different stages of grief. Of course, I fill them in with other things as time comes, but there are the main ones that are on the list that have to be played during that particular stage of grief that I'm having, if I can identify what it is, because lots of times you can go back and forth between the different stages, and sometimes you have like a combination of the two and you just can't figure out which one it is, in which case you just go for what you're feeling. And not all the time is it meant to be positive. I mean, sometimes you need something to actually draw that emotion out of you, something that's going to make you cry and make you cry it out, because there's healing in the tears. So let's just kind of get started, starting with the first stage of grief, which is shock. So this point, you're in disbelief. You can't believe what happened, whether or not they broke up with you, you broke up with them, you caught them cheating or anything like that. This is that first stage. By the way, I do have my computer here with my playlist. So Delquisha is here. That's what I call her, Delquisha. She right here, and she's gonna help me with this. But the first one up on my list, like I said, is shock. So at this point, you're confused, you're in disbelief. You can't believe they just broke up with you, or that you had a break with them, or you caught them cheating or anything like that. Either way, the first stage is shock. And the song that I use for shock is Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus. So have a listen to that if you're going through that stage, because I mean, she just talks about she wanted nothing but to pour everything into this relationship, and she did everything she could, but all he did was just fuck it up. Came in like a wrecking ball and just fucked everything up. So Wrecking Ball, that is one of the main songs that I have to listen to for shock. The next stage is denial. So at this point, you're pushing everything away that actually happened. You're actually saying, this didn't happen. I'm just dreaming. This is not really over. And you start kind of singing or thinking of these different songs that kind of help you push that feeling to the back of your head. And some of the songs, there are actually several that I use during the denial stage. And the first one I use is "Cause I Love You" by Lenny Williams. So have a listen to that, "Cause I Love You" by Lenny Williams. The next one, of course, is that all-time ballad of breakups, which is "Unbreak My Heart" by Toni Braxton. Actually, anything on that album will do. And of course, "Don't Speak" by No Doubt. That one's on my list for denial, but I think that one also can go on the list later on. A lot of these songs can be interchangeable, so go with what you feel at the time. It's just, some suggestions. The next stage is isolation. I'm really good at this one. This one you tend to kind of turn off your phone and you lock yourself out of Facebook, and you don't want to talk to anybody. You go dark, or you ghost on everybody in your life. You have to be careful with this stage, because this stage usually starts, you start doing things like, binge drinking if that's your thing, or you start doing other unsafe things. You also, at this stage, might start doing things where you're not leaving the house, and I will say there was one breakup I had that was so bad I almost lost my job because of some of the things that were going, and I wasn't going to work, and I was just very depressed. And when I was there, I wasn't there. So you kind of have to watch that. You don't want to lose your job over a bad breakup, especially if it's something you work so hard for. Some songs that, a song that I make sure that I have on my rotation during the isolation phase. And I mean, I'm literally lighting candles and laying in the middle of the floor. And that song is Walk On by Isaac Hayes. Gets me every time and gets me through every time. So that's my isolation song. The next phase is anger. Now I'm sure you can pick any and every song or any and every song about the anger phase of going through grief. And I mean, it's just like it sounds. You're at this point, you're burning and waiting to exhale. You're ready to set the car on fire. You get your shit, and get out. You are angry. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go watch Waiting to Exhale. It will also help you get through your breakup. But some of the songs that I do listen to that are on my playlist for the anger phase of a breakup or the anger phase of grief is I Hate You Bitch by Zero. Always will be there. Has been there since, I don't know, middle school, high school, when you weren't allowed to even say those words. I Hate You Bitch is my number one. My number two is Hit 'Em Up Style by Blue Control. And I mean, that song just, it gives me life. I mean, that song can kind of throw you back in the other direction. So you could probably use it later too, but Hit 'Em Up Style, that's my song. Irreplaceable, Beyonce, To the Left, To the Left. Don't you ever for a second think you're irreplaceable. Come on. My next one, Ring the Alarm, Beyonce again. That is the song. You are a ring the alarm. I've been doing this so long, but I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm. That could also be bargaining. We'll talk about that in a second. Another one that I like for anger is Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. Also Caught Out There by Khalees. Everybody knows that one right there. I hate you so much right now. Ah! That's the one. You can listen to that one on repeat when you really, into that anger phase. The next phase up, like I mentioned just a second ago, is bargaining. So bargaining can come from both sides. At this point, you could be trying to reestablish a relationship, or they could be trying to reestablish the relationship, and this is not good. And judging from some of the songs I have on here, this might be a phase where you're starting to doubt yourself, where you're starting to try to change things about yourself for the relationship. And I'll say this one thing: change is good, but don't ever change yourself for somebody else. Don't ever change your personality. Don't ever change your body. Don't change anything for somebody else. You do it for yourself. So if it's something that's going to ultimately benefit you in the end, go for it. Use this as your muse to get through whatever you want to get through to change yourself. But in the end, it has to be for you. Anything you try to do for somebody else is not going to stick. So don't do that. But some of the songs that I have on my list for bargaining is Why Don't You Love Me by Beyonce. Love that one. Valerie by Amy Winehouse. That's kind of a wild card on this phase, but it's on my playlist for bargaining. And then of course Judas by Lady Gaga. I'm still unsure why that one made the list. I'll have to go back and look at that some more, but it's on my bargaining list. Next up, let's see what Delquisha has for me. The next one is depression. So depression is, I think, one of the most difficult ones to get through. It's probably the phase that's going to take the longest. And at this point, you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed with your emotions. You're not sure what to do with them, where to place them. And I think this is a perfect time to bring in music, is during this phase. So at this point, you can listen to any and every Adele album. Whether it's making you happy or making you sad, any and every Adele album will do it for you. You're also looking at another sad love song by Toni Braxton. Better Man by Little Big Town. I love that one. Also Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. So at this point, they really jump to like the final stage, but I feel like there should be a transition stage in there, and I'm unsure what to call it. But I feel like there should be a transition stage, and this is where you start listening to more positive songs that are kind of help you, that are kind of help push you toward the acceptance phase, which is the last one. And songs that I have listed in my transition stage are Closer by FlawlessLee. I think that's how you say it. Me and my cousin go back and forth about how to say her name. She calls her Go Apple. I know that's not right, but I think it's FlawlessLee. And Closer. That's one of the songs I have on the transition list. Also, I Will Survive by Miss Gloria Gaynor. And Chrisette Michele, Be Okay. I will be okay. I love that one. I'ma take my Lexus to the mall, buy a little black dress just because me and my man just broke it. Okay, never mind. You go listen to it. I'm not gonna sing it because I can't sing. The final stage of the grieving stages is acceptance. So at this point, you made that final realization that, this is over. You've realized, what your life was like before all of this went down, and that you can actually get back there, and you realize you can do this by yourself. You can go this alone, and that you could possibly love someone else in the future. Your friends have probably been telling you all of this, the entire time, trying to support you, but not all the time are you willing to, accept that type of encouragement. But at this point, this is when you really need it, because it's going to keep you on the right path. And I believe, of course, again, music is going to help you with this. As far as how long it's going to take you to get to the acceptance stage, it depends. Scientists usually say somewhere between 6 to 18 months. And then other people, like therapists, actually say it can take half the length of the relationship, which I hope is not true. But I believe it varies from person to person, and it varies depending on how many times you've had to go through these different stages of grief and how the relationship played out while it was in play. But some of the songs that are on my list for acceptance are Sorry by Beyonce. I Ain't Sorry. No, yeah, Beyonce, Sorry. Also, you're looking at John Mayer, Life is Beautiful. There's a long story behind that one. But there's a long story behind that one. That one got me through. But John Mayer, Life is Beautiful. Send My Love by Adele. You ready to bid him adieu? Send my love to your little lover. Yes, let him go. And hope he finds somebody and treat her better. Because you done with it, okay? Also, at this point, you can reintroduce Chrisette Michele with Be Okay. So those are just some of the songs from my playlist to help me get through the 7 different stages of grief. I hope some of this helps you out. And if you have any songs that you'd like to add to the list, or to the list for the next time I need it, go ahead and add them in the comment section below. I will be adding those. And yeah, I just wish you all the best of luck. Especially the friend that I made this for. I'm not going to call her out because she'd hate me for that, but I know she watches. So hey girl, keep your head up and remember what we talked about today. Okay? Until next time, flawlessly yours.